Hello students, welcome to the second lecture of chapter 2 Electrostatic Potential and Capacitances. In the last lecture we learned about the potential due to a point charge. Second, we will learn the potential due to an electric dipole. So, for dipole we will calculate the electric potential at three positions. First, we will calculate the electric potential at point P, which is on the point at the axis of the dipole. In the second case, we will take this observation point perpendicular to this axis, means on the equatorial line. And third, we will take the observation point at a general point, means it will neither on the axis nor on the equatorial point, but other than these two cases. So first we will calculate the electrostatic potential due to an electric dipole at axial position. So this is the electric dipole. Charges are minus q and plus q. The distance between them is 2a. The observation point is at a distance r from the center. So we want to calculate the potential at P. Now we will write the potential due to the plus q charge. This is the plus q charge, and due to this charge we will write the potential at point P. So the general formula of the potential is V is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r. So with the help of this formula, potential due to plus q charge is V plus q is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Q is the value of charge, and what is the distance of P from this plus q charge? See, this is the total distance r which is taken from the center of the dipole, and this is the distance a of the plus q charge from the center. So this distance will be this r minus a. So the plus q potential is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r minus a, which is this distance. Now similarly we will write the potential due to minus q charge. Say minus q charge is here and P point is here. So the 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, in place of charge we will write minus q because it is the negative charge, and this is the distance of point P from this minus q charge. This much distance is r and this much distance is a, so the total distance is r plus a. So these are the potentials due to plus q and minus q charges. Now we will calculate the potential at P by adding these potentials. So we will write the total potential at P will be equal to, we will simply add these two equations in which 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is common. So we will take it outside, and q upon r minus a, and due to this negative charge the minus charge will come here, minus q upon r plus a. So q is also common, we can take it outside, and when we will solve these two fractions we will take LCM, which is r square minus a square, and here will come r plus a and minus r minus a. So minus r minus a will become minus r plus a. So in this r will cancel out and a will add, so it will become 2a. So q into 2a divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square minus a square. And with the help of the formula of the dipole moment, we can write this value as dipole moment, means charge into the distance between the two charges. So it will become the dipole moment, means P, divided by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square minus a square. So this is the formula of the potential at the axial position of the electric dipole. Second case is we will calculate the electrostatic potential at point P due to this dipole moment on its equatorial line. This is the equatorial line and we have taken point P here. So we want to calculate the potential at this point P. So with the help of the potential formula, we will write the potential due to plus Q charge. So potential due to plus Q charge will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught charge, that is plus Q, and divided by this distance. This is the distance of P from the plus Q charge. Here I have taken it as BP. So BP is the distance between the observation point and plus Q charge. Now similarly we can write the potential due to minus Q charge. So it will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught and charge will be minus Q and this much distance. This is the distance AP of the point from the minus Q charge. So now we will calculate the total potential at P. So we have to just add these two equations to get the total potential. It will be V is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. It is common and charge is also common. So 1 upon BP minus 1 upon AP, if we can take the charge also outside the bracket. But these two distances, that is BP and AP, are equal, because if we calculate this distance from this right angle triangle, so with the help of the Pythagoras theorem, it will become under root of r square plus a square. Similarly, this much distance will also become r square plus a square within the under root. So these two distances are equal. So in this equation they will cancel out and the total potential at this equatorial point will become 0. Now the third case is potential due to an electric dipole at a general point. So this is the electric dipole. Charges are minus Q plus Q, and we want to calculate the electric field, the potential at this point P. So the distance of the point P from the plus Q charge is taken as R1. The distance of P from minus Q charge is taken as R2, and the distance from the center of the point P is taken as R. Here this observation point line makes an angle theta with this dipole. So this is the angle theta. Now we will calculate the electric potential at point P. Like in the previous cases, we will write the potential due to plus Q charge as well as due to minus Q charge. So V plus Q means potential at P due to plus Q charge will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught charge plus Q divided by distance. This is the distance which is R1. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R1. Similarly, the potential at P due to this minus Q charge will be equal to V minus Q is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Charge is minus Q and distance is R2. So now we will add these two potentials to get the total potential at P. So total potential will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R1, and due to this minus sign here it will become minus Q upon R2. Q is also common, so we can take it outside. So the potential at P will be equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Now we have to put these two values, means 1 upon R1 and 1 upon R2, to calculate the final value of potential. So to calculate these two values, we will apply the cosine law, according to which R1 square is equal to R square plus A square minus 2AR cos theta. And how it comes from the geometry of this figure, we can see in this upper triangle this vector is A, because this distance is half of the total dipole distance. So this distance is A, this vector is A, this vector is R, and this is the vector R1. So vector A is in this direction, vector r1 is in this direction, and their resultant r is in this direction. So by the vector addition theorem, we can write vector r is equal to vector A plus vector r1, because A plus r1 is equal to r. So r is equals to A plus r1, and we want to calculate r1, so r1 will be equal to vector r minus vector A. To calculate its magnitude, we will square on both the sides. So when vector is multiplied by its value, then it will become its magnitude square. So r1 square is equals to this r minus A whole square. When we will extend it, we will get r square plus A square minus 2ar cos theta. So from this equation, we can write here r1 square is equals to r square plus A square minus 2ar cos theta. We want to calculate r1 square is equal to, we are taking r square as common, r square, so this will become 1, this will become a square upon r square minus 2a, when it is divided by r square it will become 2a upon r cos theta. So if we want to calculate r1, we can take under root, so r1 is equal to r within the bracket 1 minus 2a upon r cos theta raised to the power 1 by 2. Here we have neglected this term just because the a distance means the distance of the dipole charges from the center is very small as compared to the distance of the observation point. So just because a is very less than r, this a upon r will be very less than 1, and a square upon r square will be even more smaller. So we can neglect this a square upon r square value. So if we reverse this whole equation, we will get 1 upon r1 is equal to 1 upon r 1 minus 2a upon r cos theta, and this half power will become minus half power. To calculate the final value of 1 upon r1, we can extend this value with the help of binomial theorem, and again we will neglect the higher powers of a upon r. So 1 upon r1 is equal to 1 upon r, and when we extend it with the binomial theorem, this power will be multiplied here. So when minus 2a upon r will be multiplied by minus 1 by 2, it will become plus a upon r cos theta, and since the higher terms will contain the a square upon r square and other higher term values, so we are neglecting the higher values of a upon r. So we will just write down these two terms only. So this is the final value of 1 upon r1. Similarly, we will calculate the 1 upon r2 value, and it will be 1 upon r and 1 minus a upon r cos theta. In place of this plus value, it will become minus. So we will put these 1 upon r1 and 1 upon r2 values in the first equation. Here we will put these two values to get the total potential. So just we have to subtract this equation number 2, we have to subtract this equation number 3 from 2. So we will get, when we will subtract this equation from this equation, this 1 will be cancelled out and this will be added. So q upon 4 pi epsilon naught, which is in the equation first, which was in the equation first, and r, here it is r, and when we will subtract these two equations, we will get a upon r cos theta, and a upon r cos theta means 2a upon r cos theta. So the total potential will be equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r multiplied by 2a upon r cos theta, and since this q into 2a will again become the dipole moment of the dipole, so it will become p cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So this is the value of the potential for the dipole at any general point. We can conclude this equation into the first case as well as into the second case, because if theta is 0, then this point will be on its axial line. So if theta is 0 means cos 0 will be 1, then this equation will become cos theta is 1, this equation will become p upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, which is same as the potential at the axial position. And if we take this theta as 90 degree, then this observation point will be at its equatorial line. So at this equatorial line, theta is 90 degree, then cos 90 will be 0, and the total potential at the equatorial point will be 0. So this formula of the general point, we can convert it into the first and second cases as well.